Number five. So John Maxwell was my favorite speaker by far. Lots of big faces. Ryan Dice. You had the lady from Spanx. You had obviously John Maxwell. You had Damon John. You had Russell Brunson. There were a lot of people there. A lot of famous people too. John Maxwell's talk about leadership was really, really good. And this quote is fantastic. So everything rises and falls on your leadership. So one of the big lessons that I've had end of last year, beginning of this year is being uber honest with myself and not bullshitting myself, right? Taking extreme ownership of the situations that I've created, right? Both good and bad, right? When I make a mess, when I shit the bed, so to speak, right? I'm the one that's gonna clean it up, right? And I'm gonna take ownership over it. And so this quote just naturally then works really well for me, right? Everything rises and falls on your leadership. So no one ever woke up on the top of Mount Everest and was like, holy shit, how did I get here, right? That's never happened, right? Everything good in life is gonna be an uphill battle, okay? So at the end of the day, I want you thinking, are you being intentional, right? Do you have a plan, right? Are you being intentional about your plan and your growth? Or are you just, if you will, picture in your head, right, pissing in the wind? Sorry, I had to. And at the end of the day, I find when I'm speaking with my customers one-on-one, whether it's a coaching customer or whether it's somebody that's been in business and has already had a 7-figure business, or they're just doing 6 figures, or they're just getting started, it doesn't matter. I find way too many people are being unintentional about what they're doing. They have some plans, right? But it's not really tied together very well. It's not strung together very well. Yeah, this year we want to do this. Okay, but how are you breaking that down on a quarterly basis? And planning for a year, sorry guys, like time moves too fast these days. Like that's kind of fucking ridiculous, right? Your plan needs to be for the next 90 days and you need to be backing that out into every single week, what you're doing in order to get there in 90 days, right? So be intentional. Itch on my nose. So there were 4 things that I took away that I need to be uber intentional about. And I want to share those 4 things with you guys. I like that 90-day plan. So there's training on 98-day year. Somebody calls it, I think it's also called the 90-day plan. Forget the 2 different people offhand, but they're very similar philosophies, and I absolutely love their training. And I've broken down kind of the modifications that I've created and how I build those plans. And so I'm working with intent, right? And I'm being very intentional about my days, my weeks, and exactly what I'm doing. And I talk about that inside of the mastermind. And so if you guys jump in there at some point, in the future, you guys can see kind of my own personal planning system in there, so to speak. But back to the topic, 4 things, right, that I think that you guys need to be super intentional about. First and foremost is personal growth and development. You guys being here, right, you got to believe in personal growth and development. I believe that we all create our own future. After all, I'm an entrepreneur. We all believe that, right? And I think at the end of the day, most of us think way, way, way too small. And when we think too small, we shortchange ourselves. And so I think it's uber important to always, always be learning. So books can help, buying courses and training can help, but obviously with both of those, you got to consume the shit. You got to get through it. You got to do it. You got to be able to get through it. You got to be able to actually implement some stuff to really grow. But I think it's also important to surround yourself in person with people doing it, right? So when I was at that event in Miami, right, I didn't have to go. I'm a successful entrepreneur. Why did I take the time to go do that, right? Why did I? And it's that very reason. right? For me to see people standing there, up there on stage, right? I was envious. They had quite the crowd, 18,000 people, 20,000 people. Why can't that be me, right? I got jelly. I'll be the first to admit it. Why can't that be me? I could give a better speech than that person. I could deliver more value than that person. So what happens is you surround yourself by that, and it really starts to change your mindset, okay? A great example of that is when we hold our in-person little workshops and events, masterminds here, actually the in-person ones that we do, or even when somebody flies in for a day to do coaching with me, right? Spending that day with me, seeing my surroundings. You know, I live in Palm Beach County, Florida, which is a ridiculous freaking place. It's not quite like anywhere else in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I believe the stat is something like 25 or 30% of the world's wealth lives on Palm Beach or lives in Palm Beach County at some point during the year. Not during their lifetime, during the year, right? It's crazy. Like every big celebrity, who's, like you name them, they probably live here. Like it's just crazy. And you know, want to know why I live here? Because that's constant motivation, right? Every day I'm driving my 1.5 miles, you know, to work in my Corvette Z06, and I think I'm big shit, right? And it's like, whoop, there's a $500,000 car. Whoop, there's $1 million car, right? I am a little fish in a big fucking pond. You know what that does for me each and every day? That motivates the hell out of me. Okay, give me a like on YouTube if that makes sense. Give me a 3, let's say actually a 4 on GoTo if that makes sense, right? I call it constant motivation. You got to be investing in your personal growth and development, okay? And ensure that you're not, please, that you're not wasting that personal growth and development time on bullshit. You need to be listening to the right people, right? The people that get you thinking critical, the people that get you taking action, the people that get you results. That's where you need to be spending your time, okay? For me, I have a habit that has came at the end of last year and this year. I'm in the gym a lot, about 1.5 hours a day. So I have a built-in learning time. Okay, I read a book or listen to a book on Audible every couple days and go through about 1 info product or training every single week. I am learning at a ridiculously rapid rate, and I'm implementing as well at a just crazy speed. I dare you to try and fucking catch up. So to recap, the top 5 takeaways. Number 1, get access. Right? Get access. I don't care what you got to do to get access. I don't care if you got to like pay through the nose to get access. I don't care if you have to come up with a lopsided deal. I don't care if you got to give away a service in order to do it. Right? Do whatever you have to get access. Okay? Once you have access, stay relevant. Right? Don't be that person that like came out with a boom and exploded, and then like literally you never heard from again. You guys have all seen those companies. You guys have all seen those personal brands, right? Don't be that person, okay? You guys have all seen those people that you're like, I wonder what happened to that person. I haven't heard from them in 6 months. Don't be that brand, right? Don't be that personal brand. Don't be that, you know, company. Stay relevant. Okay, number 3 is repurpose. Man, I went on a crazy rampage and rant about repurposing. You guys should be repurposing everything that you're doing. Obviously, the key to repurposing is that you got to have content to repurpose. So if you don't have content to repurpose, guys, I start doing a weekly call just like this. I don't care. Invite 5 people to it. 2 or 3 of them come. You got some good questions, some good shit to come up to talk about, right? You talk about what you're doing in your business and you repurpose that. There you go. You got content for the rest of the year on a commitment of 1 hour a week. It's literally all that I spent. I mean, sometimes 2. You guys know I over deliver a little bit. So 3 is repurpose. 4 is 10x your frequency. Don't be scared about how fast you're ramping out volume, right? Don't be fast about how much content you're putting out, okay? And 5 is all about leadership. Take responsibility for yourself, right? Take responsibility for your team, okay? And really own what is happening in your life and in your business, okay? Become an amazing leader. I believe to really have a big business, to really have a very profitable business, you got to take ownership, number one, but number two, you really do have to become a good leader. I don't care if you have a team of 2 people. I don't care if you have a team of 5 people. You got to have a team of 40 in order to support the business that you have. You're going to have to become a good leader. Okay, you're going to have to develop your leadership skills. All right.